my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Hello and welcome to the Ultimate Sports Network. Once again, my name is Frank Gordon. Today we are going to be speaking to Russell Pruitt of Sportsful.com.
Well, my name is Russell Pruitt. I'm located out in Queens, New York. I run the website called Sportsful.com. The website's been operational for about maybe 3 or 4 months now. The site is really predominantly classic sports, documentary footage, things that, sports events that happened maybe a couple years ago, So I got the idea from attending a professional basketball game. And, while I was there, I was hearing a bunch of people say, remember when this happened, remember when that happened, back in the days when this guy hit this shot against this guy and blah, 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 blah. So I got an epiphany one day and I said, well, maybe I can start a website pretty much dedicated to classic sports footage and pictures and stuff of that nature. So, here we are right now. I mean, I've always been a sports guy. I'm a black guy. I even like hockey. I can remember being 10 years old. I had a Rangers jersey with the hockey puck. I got that for Christmas, and I wanted to be a hockey player. I did. I really did.
Well, I know how that is. I grew up a little south of Cleveland, and we went up to see the Cleveland Force. Not the Force. I can't remember the name of the team now. And I looked around. I was like, Dad, yeah. How come they know the black people in this place? I was like, okay. Maybe we should go to the football game instead.
Yeah. I mean, I did attend last year actually. I attended a New York Islanders game. They were playing the Philadelphia Flyers.
Okay. And
there were two black players on that team. Now they weren't starting or whatever, they weren't playing, but there are two black guys on that team.
It has changed a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah. I was surprised. I was like, oh wow, there's a black guy on that team. It was like seeing like Sasquatch or something. I'm like, what? Yeah.
We were talking about getting Mitchell and Ness classic jersey and all that. My buddy said, I'm going to give you a Grant Fuhr jersey. I said, did you ever see the Oilers actually play? No, but I'm going to get one anyway. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, now, how can we help you go forward? I mean, we're looking at, as we were talking about off the air, part of what we do, we're a bunch of old heads here that love sports, and again, nothing against what's happening now because we love to go to the games and watch everything on TV and have 3 TVs going and all that. But we kind of compare things to what's happened in the past to what's going on in the future. So how can we kind of get the audiences together and get them an idea of, all right, here's what we have. Maybe, is there a way where people can request things from you, or you just kind of get what you can get?
Oh, well, right now I just go off of just the feel, really, or pretty much it. I try to, say like, okay, the issue that happened with Odell Beckham. Okay. I try to get some footage of him, like maybe playing soccer back in the day, or something like that. It's always connected to the actual events today, but we're bringing classic footage to the events, or connecting classic footage to the events that happened today.
So it's almost kind of a documentary idea, or what's the documentary feels like. If I'm looking at, like I said, Odell Beckham, how did he get to be Odell Beckham?
Right. Okay. Since what's happening this moment is about Odell Beckham blowing up, let's bring the footage of Odell Beckham getting to the NFL.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what it is.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, so people can kind of connect with what we're both looking about here. What I notice you have, and for people who haven't looked at the site, you've got football, you've got baseball, you've got boxing. We're big boxing fans, so we can, add some boxing stuff. That would be great. But, what is it in your mind? What do you say? You get up in the morning, what do you want to see?
Truthfully, the first thing I look for is the NFL.
Okay.
To me, because that's the number one sport to me. I look for NFL footage first, and then I go from that to maybe basketball, baseball, and so forth and so on.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Now, as a New York guy, I always ask this to New York people, so I'm trying to make again. I'm a Midwest guy, so I don't have a lot of choices. I'm closer to Cleveland than any place else, so usually it's okay.
Oh,
I've got the
right.
Browns.
I mean, well, sorry about the World Series. I thought you guys had that in the bag.
Well, I tell you what. Here's what the last time in the '90s when they got there. I'm a little older than maybe I sound, but when they got there in the '90s, I was just happy they got there. Because I went through the lean years of the late 70s, early 80s when, the idea of them even making the playoffs was just not even possible. So when they got there in the 90s, it's like, it's cool.
Go ahead.
It was like, I expected to win. So, yeah, I'm a little salty right now, but I'll get over it.
How do you feel about the Ravens? Because, the Ravens were the Cleveland Browns.
I'll tell you what. Here's how we look at that. I'm getting a little choked up now. Just kidding. Here's how we look at that. When the Browns left to go to Baltimore, we said, okay, who do we follow now? Because you've been following football since you were a little kid, right? And you go, okay, I sure can't go down 71 and cheer for the Bengals. That's not going to happen. So most of the Browns fans said, we didn't become fans of the Steelers, even though those were the rivals. Since the cities are pretty much the same, we kind of follow the Steelers. The Ravens, we don't like the Ravens. Even though it's the old Browns and they've got, they don't have any of the stuff. Let me put it this way. I have yet to see Art Modell hold that trophy. Whenever that picture comes on, I turn it off. So I have yet, 15, 20 years ago, I've yet to see Art Modell hold that trophy. So that's how. Now, I don't hate him. It would have been nice for him to pull one off last night, but, I pretty much feel it wasn't going to happen. But it's just, it doesn't seem right. Now, it's been long enough that, okay, they're another team now. But those first few years, oh, man, that was tough, especially when those old Browns playing on the team.
Yeah.
You know what saves it? Here's what saves it. That Belichick didn't go to the Ravens and turn the Ravens into the Patriots. If he would have done what he did with the Patriots with the Ravens, then it would have been bad. I mean, it would have been really bad.
Yeah, it would have been,
You look at him being partially responsible for them not doing well enough to keep the team, in Cleveland.
Right.
So,
well, he stepped out on the Jets. He was a Jet coach for maybe 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
A week.
Yeah, so, but, you didn't expect that. So that's when you got these, when the new guy comes in, which happens every other year in Cleveland, it's like, give him a chance. He may be the next Bill Belichick. And he may go, 9-30 while he's here for the first few years, but you got to give him a chance. So
Right.
And you know that in New York, you got now, again, I always ask this question with New Yorkers. How do you split it up? Is it if you're a Jets fan, you're a Mets fan, and you're a Rangers fan? How does that work? How do you have one or the other, or do you have them both?
Well, the written rule in New York is if you're a Yankee fan, you're a Giant fan, you're a Knicks fan. If you're a Jet fan, you're a Met fan, you're a Nets fan.
Okay.
That's how it goes. And you
right.
throw the Rangers. The Rangers would go into the Giants and Yankees.
Okay.
That's the unwritten rule. But there are some people that like the Jets and they would like the Yankees. But traditionally, it's that order.
Yeah. Now,
because of the championships.
Right. Now, you were talking hockey. Now you got 3 teams that split up in hockey. How does that work? Or do you consider the Devils to be a New York team?
Who's that?
You consider the New Jersey Devils to be a New York team?
Well, with that, we only consider them a New York team when they're in the Stanley Cup Finals. It's kind of like by default. It's like I'm a Knicks fan, but if the Nets were to somehow shock the basketball world and get to the finals, I will become a Nets fan by default. Same thing with the Jets.
Right.
Right. So if the Jets and the Giants were playing the Super Bowl, I'm going for the Giants.
Gotcha.
But if the Jets play the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, I'm a Jets fan.
Now, when you had the Subway Series there a few years ago, when you had the Mets against the Yankees, now, see, that's the story they never told. How did they, did they just say, okay, you walk down this side of the street and go in that gate, you walk down that side of the street and go in that gate? Did they let them mix, or, that had to be crazy.
For some fans, it was kind of just like you were torn because, on one hand, I did want to see the Mets win because it was like, okay, the Yankees always win.
Right.
Since we're guaranteed a parade, let's go with the team normally doesn't win. So I kind of was like, I was happy. I was at the parade for the Yankees, but then I was like, deep down, I did want the Mets to win.
Okay.
Because it's like the Yankees were playing with house money.
Right. Now, see, that's how this was when you were talking about the Indians. That's how this was with the Indians and the Cubs. You couldn't really go wrong, even if you're an Indians fan, because, you had to feel for the Cubs fans. Hey, they got a shot, too. So,
Right. And you guys just had the Cavs. Cavs, you guys...
That's one of those things. You talk about playing with house money. You bring LeBron in, or LeBron back, I should say, and then you bring in Kyrie, and anybody should be able to win with them. Not saying that, if you start, I hate to say it as a Cavs fan, but if you start stacking teams, you're supposed to win. Believe me, I'm happy that it happened, and the fact that we actually went up there for Game 7, even though it was in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
how was that experience?
Oh, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. We were at this one restaurant, and it's about an hour before game time. We got there early, and people are just walking the streets, and we're trying to figure out, do these people know? Because we had tickets to go watch the game inside Quicken Loans Arena if we wanted to, but we decided to head to this restaurant across the street, and there are people just walking the streets. And you're thinking, do they know the game's about to start? They should go inside someplace, watch the game. And then more people came. And by halftime, the streets were filled with people not even watching the game. They just wanted the game outside the arena waiting to see what happened. And when the last shot hit, I bet about 40 people in that restaurant left their check and just completely forgot. Everyone went out in the streets, and for about, I'd say, 2 hours, it was just people crying and high-fiving and hugging. It was insane.
Wow.
It was insane. And the police were there, and the amount of police were there, had no problems. The worst thing was happening, somebody turned over a porta potty. That was it. And people are high-fiving and hugging the cops. You've never seen people before. It was insane. So, ESPN was there, and people were crying to get on ESPN, and, it was crazy. But, hey, it was a lot of fun, but now can they do it again? That's the question now. Can they do it again? So you never had to worry.
I think they can. I'm not a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, but I'm a realist when it comes to sports. I don't bet with my emotions. I try to look at, the X's and O's of everything. Right. I think Cleveland has a better shot this year of beating Golden State than last year. Well, I think Golden State got worse as far as defense goes.
Right. And
they can't rebound.
I was talking about this to somebody the other day. There are only 3 or 4 teams in the league where you really have to defend them, because most of the teams, they're running the dribble drive stuff. Everyone goes and stands in the corner. You got to guard 1 or 2 guys. At least
the Knicks. The Knicks. Carmelo, isolation ball.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And they said, we don't want to play the triangle. We want to play the triangle. It doesn't matter if the guy with the ball is going to, and not to say he's a ball hog, but he's used to, like you said, run the ISO, and everyone else stands there and says, well, when he gets in trouble, maybe he'll bail us out, or he'll bail out to us, and we stand in the corner and shoot the threes. So you got maybe 3 or 4 teams that you have to guard somebody. we did a show talking about should the Sixers get rid of Nerlens Noel because you got 5 guys over 6'10", 6'11" on that team. They said there's no need. You don't have to worry about who's guarding who because you only have to guard 3 guys on the floor or 2 guys on the floor. So you can have a guy 6'10". They're watching people. So yeah, that's where we look at that. So yeah, I think the Cavs will be okay, but it's still a long way to go.
Yeah. Well, I think they're top 3. Top 3 meaning number 1 or 2. To me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I think they can actually get to. I think they can actually go for the record this year if they wanted to. I don't think they will, but if they wanted to really go for 74 wins? 75?
Yeah, it was 74, it was 74, right.
They could probably,
what they'll do, and I don't have any proof in this, but I think what they'll do is they'll say, okay, we may give LeBron a night off or cut his minutes a couple times here and there. They know they're going to make the playoffs, and they probably know they're going to be the number 1 team in the East, unless something really crazy happens. So they may, I won't say give up a game or 2 here and there, but, Kyrie's still, jury's out whether he can play a full season, full strength, so they may give a night or 2 here and there, may cut some minutes back. They're in it for the championship. So, we'll see how that works out. Yeah. Right. Look, man, I appreciate you being on. I appreciate the talk. You gave me more info than I thought was going to happen because I thought we were going to talk classic stuff, and we talked some new stuff as well, which is great. Right. Anytime you want to be on again, give me a call. Let me know. It's great talking to you.
Okay, yeah, no doubt, Frank.
Okay. Again, let everybody know where they can find you.
Okay, you can check out my website at sportsfull.com. You can also hit me on my social media Twitter. That's Russ_sportsfull. Hit me up. I'm there. You can DM me. You can ask me questions. You can request for me to look for classic stuff. I'm all things sports.
Well, I appreciate it, Russ. It's been great talking.
All right, Frank. All right, Frank. Thanks talking with you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
All right, we'll talk to you. You too.